Hey guys, welcome back to AF Farms and welcome back to our new player series on Elm Creek. Now, for some reason, it's pitch black. I've got the torch on. I somehow slept to 5:37 a.m. And there's our pallet telehandler. Looks quite good in the bright light. Anyway, I did have an issue with my last save game. It didn't save the last 15 minutes of gameplay. Oh, look at that moon. Looks pretty cool. And I just had a bit of a glitch where I've slept for a weird amount of time, so don't know what's going on there. But I'm going to try and sleep here till 9, wake on up, and we're back to normal. Okay, happy days. Turn the flashlight off. Okay, so we planted some wheat yesterday. We've also, just to recap, we purchased the Case IH harvester. We got the header in a previous episode. We paid cash for the Kun seeder. So this is the direct drill, cultivate, fertilise and seed all in one. So we paid full price for that. We got the telehandler a little while ago. We purchased the low loader to start moving these eggs so we can sell them. Fertiliser spreader we purchased a little while ago as well. And then we've got the New Holland T8 Genesis last video as well. So, and we've still got our OG John Deere tractor and trailer. And we've got our chickens. So that's basically where we're at. So we still have these two fields, so we own this land. Last episode prior to, so not last episode, the episode before, we obviously went through replanting, selling the eggs, etc. Last episode we were scouting out a new farm location, and I think we determined that field 41, so yeah, where the pickup is, basically in this area here, we're going to plan to purchase these fields and start building out productions, greenhouses, and other elements of the farm. So obviously this area here is quite small and becoming quite cramped, basically with what we've got. So we're going to look to relocate. We'll probably keep this farm as is, but as our equipment starts to grow, as we invest in more buildings, particularly we want to start getting some more chickens, harvesting more wheat, start really ramping up that side of things, we're going to need more room. So that's the game plan moving forward. So for now, we are basically just going to have to wait until this crop is ready, because we are just about out of wheat again, and I want to get out of winter back into spring, so we've got a bit more clarity on our map. So I'm just going to quickly check used vehicles. So we've got a Fendt Vario 1000, which is actually a pretty good tractor, but we've already secured one of those, so we don't really need anything at this stage. So let's just sleep again. Next thing we're going to be on lookout for is a larger grain cart, so to help transport grain from the harvester back to the silo and for sale, so we can start moving bulk grain. After that, we're probably looking for a semi-trailer sort of combination to help with the logistics, with the movement of that grain on the road network, so being able to transport that quickly and efficiently. So that's sort of what we're looking at the moment. Okay, so pallets are nearly maxed out on the eggs there. Let's check our vehicles, and of course we've got a Pottinger seeder. So this is the other one we had our eye on. So what was this? 53 grand. Tempting, because we could potentially sell our other one, recoup some cash. Actually, no, I'm going to pass on that. So we're actually getting some good used equipment here, even though we don't need it now. We needed it 2 episodes ago, but that's how the cookie crumbles, as they say. So let's sleep again. I want to get this harvest underway, and then we're going to look to do some contracts. So we're going to try out our Case IH, the brand new one. Well, it's not brand new, but used, but brand new to us. So it's yet to do a harvest, so I wanted to see how quickly this thing can get the get the crop up. Okay, so we're still waiting on growth there. Let's check how far off we are. So still a little bit of a way to go there. We are going to be out of wheat. Yep, so we're out of wheat there. Used vehicles, so 6M series, that's not a bad small tractor, but not required at this stage. So let's sleep again, just so we can get this crop cranking. We also might look to get a loading wagon so we can collect straw and sell that as well. But we really don't have a need for straw at this stage. It's just extra cash. I mean, the wheat is really what we want, and that's primarily for our chickens. So still got probably 2 growth states left. Let's check the used vehicles. A couple of good, really large tractors. So we got, what do we got? A plough, and we've got a tedder. So that's for things like hay. So I don't need that. Really need the wheat. So another thing I want to put in as well is some solar panels. So every time we sleep with solar panels, we're generating passive income for the day. So that's going to help to build out our cash flow a little bit better as well. But right now we're just focusing on getting this crop ready to harvest so we can move through to the next stage. So what do we got here? Sunflower. Yeah, so that's not a bad option, but we don't have a planter, so we're not really interested in sunflowers at this stage. Okay, probably one more day. That should have it. So a lot of sleeping. I mean, it's just part of it. And it's because we're trying to focus on just one crop here. But like I said, you can do contracts every day. You don't have to just follow what I do. But I'm really just interested in getting this wheat up ASAP. So we've probably got one more day here. Yep, so that should be it. Used vehicle sales. So speed tiller. So we've got 2 of the same. We've got a 5-meter cultivator. And then we've got the 8RX series. So this is up to 450 horsepower. So this is a tracked version. Pretty cool. Not necessary for us at the moment. So let's go one more time. So yeah, a good tip is just remember to save your game often, particularly at the end of your play session. So something I didn't do before. And that's what kind of messed up my last save. Alright, here we go. So we're on for harvest. So this thing should pretty much... So we've got crop destruction turned off, so not concerned about damaging that there. But if we had crop destruction turned on, we definitely would not want to drive over the crop. Okay, so we've got to turn on the harvester. No, we've got to unfold the harvester first. I've got straw swath disabled, so I'm going to enable that. I'm going to plough in the straw to get some fertilizer. Let's turn this on, and hopefully we should. I need to get on the field before the straw starts to drop. So what will happen is this straw will get ploughed in and give us a fertilizer state. Now the reason why I'm going on a bit of an angle here is just to get this header into the field a bit better, and then we're going to hit higher worker. So we are underway. So this should do this field pretty much extremely quickly. So while that's happening, hopefully I'm not in the way here, because I probably am. Let's have a look at, so that's a corn header. So we should look to potentially get some corn underway at some stage. We want to try and see if we got a contract we can do while we're harvesting. We've got cultivating, fertilizing. Harvesting, harvesting, lots of harvesting. Sowing, so we can't do corn. We could do canola, so let's just go and do the fertilizing contract, I think. So this one here, so we're going to accept the contract. We are going to use our own equipment. And it's field 59. So we're going to take our John Deere, our fertilizer spreader. So we've got the helper buy function turned on so we can manage this process pretty comfortably. And we want to go to field 59, which is down around the bottom left. So I'll get this guy onto the main road. I'll hire a worker to drive to that location, and then once we get there, I'll get him underway on the field. So let's go here, get this map back to minimized. AI worker menu, which is the steering wheel here. So set destination. Basically want him just to go to that corner. Now, because he's a small tractor, this should be relatively simple for him to navigate to. Larger vehicles and trailers will have a harder time, so pretty confident he's going to handle it. So you can see him coming this way now. He's going to turn. Yep. He's going to turn down the road, and yep, all good. Okay, let's get some of these pallets moved. And basically that first load of wheat is going to go directly into the chickens. So I'm just going to do a double stack here. So I much prefer the forklift, I must be honest, compared to the telehandler for moving pallets. So I am going to invest in the forklift at some stage. So if we get a good used forklift come online. Okay, let's push this over just a touch. Okay, drop that off there. Harvest is nearly 80% full, so we can go and empty him shortly. Got to drop down just a touch there. Yeah, because the thing with the forklift that's good is when you go down, when you go all the way down on the forks, it basically has a natural stopping point, and you can't go into the ground, which won't lift up the wheels. So when you get into a bit of a rhythm of moving product, you can basically just go all the way down. So I nearly knocked that pallet off. That was not very sensible. Okay, so we'll leave that for the moment. This guy is full, so I'm just going to drive him. Ooh, let's drop this header. Oh, so he's not even full. It's the vehicle. It's the car that's in the way. Okay, I need to get this header back on. I didn't even realise that. And that's the other issue we're facing with smaller fields. The larger equipment does have a hard time getting around. And you can see we've missed a huge chunk of crop over there. So, okay, let's... we're not going to be able to... we might be able to. Let's see if we can unload on the go. So I'll demonstrate that because we haven't done that yet. If we can get onto this tractor. So basically all you do is grab your grain cart and come up alongside the worker, which we are about to do. So the spout is on the left of the combine. Now if we just drive up towards the header just here, we should start to overload as we're driving. So obviously he's got to stay clear of the header as it's moving. Cruise control is a good option here. So what we'll do is we'll just stop here. Well, we're gonna have to move the combine for the next pass, but at least just want to empty it, and then I'll drive it into position for the chickens, and then we'll come back and move it. So we'll just park that just there, and try not to get stuck on everything. So this becomes a little bit frustrating with the smaller area as well. So the ultimate goal, if we're going to go arable with grain farming, is we want to get the ability to have 6 workers working at any one time. So that means potentially we can have 6 harvesters underway all at once. So it just allows us to get maximum crop up. Sounds like a lot, but when you really get your operation cranking along, it just really speeds up the process. And you can have harvesters stationed around the map as well, so it just makes it a lot easier to do what you need to do. Okay, so what we're going to do here is drop off this wheat, then we're going to hook up our direct drill seeder, and we're going to get our next crop in straight up. So I'm just going to leave that trailer there. So we're speeding up our planting harvesting cycle just that little bit more. And because we've upgraded our equipment now, we're not having to wait so long. So let's go for soybeans. So what I'm thinking here is we're just going to alternate soybeans and wheat, just so we can stockpile the wheat for one, and then sell the soybeans at market when the price is really good. Because then we just want to start to be able to purchase that land. So, okay, we forgot about this guy, but that's alright. This should be a pretty quick job. Okay, so we want full max spread, high worker. So it looks like we're getting all that we need. Yep, happy with that. Okay. Now we'll demonstrate baling at some stage, but I recommend baling is something you stay away from initially. If you're going to collect the straw, you definitely would go for a loading wagon over and above baling, because the loading wagon is a little bit more efficient. Because the thing with the baler is you've got to bale the bales by driving over the straw swath. Then you have to pick up the bales. Then you've got to either store the bales or transport them for sale. Whereas with the loose straw, you can basically sell it straight away, or store it in your hay loft if you've got one. So we don't have a hay loft, but it boosts your profit for wheat just that little bit extra. But like I keep saying, the wheat we're focused on is purely just for the chickens. So the straw is just getting dropped, so it gives us a fertilizer state when we cultivate. So let's hire the worker here. Just want to check in. So I think we've probably driven over some straw here, so let's have a look at how much fertilizer state we've got. So still only 50% in most areas. So I suspect in these areas here we'll get a boost, and in these areas here we'll get a boost. Alright, this guy's nearly finished. Our chickens should be replenished, which they are. What else we got? Contract is completed, so let's go and collect that money. Contract menu is this one, so it says completed, but it's not. That's because this worker. Probably can't figure out which field it needs to go to. Alright, let's change this working width down to the minimum, which is 15 meters. So we're getting a much bigger spread here, which, you know, it is what it is. Okay, dismiss worker, contract on field 59. So 3,461, so let's collect that. Let's just check in on our fertilizer costs for today. So fertilizer costs of 1,400, so I mean, probably not really worth it. We lost half the money in fertilizer, so might reevaluate fertilizing contracts, to be honest. Okay. This guy is done, so let's go drop this header off so it's out the way. So what I will do is I will probably just put it next to the silo here. And I will have the drawbar out and available. And I will see if we can pipe out directly into the silo, which we should potentially be able to do. Yep. Now if I get out, that'll still do it, which is good. So we've got oats, canola, wheat, soybeans. So how much wheat have we got coming out of here? About 8,000 litres. So that's good. This guy is... Okay, so the straw doesn't actually give us a fertilizer state. Interesting. So there's no point dropping it. We should have just had straw swath disabled. So this guy's on the way back. Hopefully he doesn't clip any of the barriers. Yeah. So just something I want to point out, which is a bit of a pet peeve of mine with this map design, is you've got these barriers and other obstacles on the roadway. So when you've got workers transiting to and from locations, they quite routinely hit this and get stuck. So I know it's there to sort of illustrate it's a, you know, work in progress construction area, but I think it really is a bit annoying from a gameplay point of view to have that there, especially when you're trying to utilize automatic drivers. So if the road was a bit wider, I wouldn't care, but you saw then the tractor bumped it, and it could, without you realizing, that tractor could be stuck for a period of time and you're wondering where your tractor is. You got a bit of an expectation that that tractor's going to be able to make it back to the farm unhindered, yet when you go looking for it, it's stuck on a piece of map design, which to me is a little bit annoying. So just something to consider, Giants, for the next game if you're listening. Leave a comment below if you've had similar experiences or that's a frustration point for you. Like take for example this road here, nice 2-lane road, really wide, like zero chance of getting stuck on any obstacles. I mean, you might run into traffic, which is fair enough, but it's not going to cause you a huge problem. So let's just park this guy up here for the moment. And even things like just this here, so it's obviously just a drainage, storm water, something or other, but it's not on the farmland, which is good. But it's just, yeah, a bit of an annoying thing. Okay, let's get rid of this harvester out of the way. So I am actually going to hook up the trailer. I mean, hook up the header. Drive this thing over where we had it before. Now, if you want to auto drive the combine harvester, you have to fold it back up in order for auto drive to actually work. So because we're just driving it manually, we can leave it there and we're all good. Okay, soybeans growing. We should be pretty close to having that planted. Yeah, one more pass and we're done. Once again, just checking that fertilizer state. Yeah. So you can see the direct drill leaves a different ground texture also. So we've got like a straw / stubble and then the cultivated sort of surface underneath. So it doesn't really impact your yield that much. It's just more of a visual change. Okay, let's get this guy. So we missed a tiny little bit in that corner, but not too worried about that. I'd rather just push on. Just want to quickly get this field planted so we can go through the next growth cycle. So I'm just going to go straight from here. Another batch of soybeans. And away we go. Okay, no other contracts I don't think we want to do. I think fertilizing contracts are something I want to move away from. Lots of baling contracts, but that's pretty manual. That's a manual process. Cultivating is easy, but we don't have a cultivator. Harvesting. Plenty of harvesting, but once again, not something I really want to worry about at this stage. Okay, soybeans. We might invest in a roller actually to get that little bit of extra yield. But I probably need another tractor with decent horsepower before I do that. Alright, so this guy is almost done. So that's going to be our last job for today. Obviously our egg production is going to ramp back up, so let's check on price of eggs. Yeah, so we got, what are we now? July, August, September, October, November. So we've got 4 months until November. So we should be able to get a decent stockpile of eggs up so we can sell them again for cash. And then the soybean harvest will probably coincide with, yeah, next June. So we've got another 12 months before max price for soybeans. So we probably want to start thinking about another high ticket crop. So probably where I'm going to go for next is bread. So bread's 5,386, and that is December. So we need the grain mill and the bakery for that. Currently we don't have either, but we will persevere. So I think what we will do is we'll stick with the base game locations for these productions. So we'll still use the grain mill up here. Currently we don't have it purchased because it is a 96,000 to buy. So I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I mean, this is targeted towards new players, so I don't want to make it too complicated, but I also want to make it as efficient as possible. So this is the bakery that you can purchase. So you can also place down your own bakery. So if we just jump into the build mode quickly, let's see how much a bakery is worth. So factories are listed here. This is your bakery for 50 grand. I think there's 2 varieties of bakery. So this is the other one. So 50 grand as well. Then you've got your grain mill, which is 96,000. So it's different styling to this one. However, it's the same price. So much of a muchness. we just want to stick with one. We don't want to buy one and then change our mind later, because then we're basically wasting a bit of money. So we'll have a bit of a think about it, which is going to be the best option. I think the next big thing is going to be moving over to this area. So even if we look to purchase field 41 and start adding greenhouses, I think that's probably going to be the best bet, because the greenhouses are a pretty good source of income. So if we want to find greenhouses, they are under productions. They got their own category, greenhouses, and this is a large greenhouse here. So it just requires water, and it'll just output strawberries, tomatoes, and lettuces. There's also a medium and a small. So, but for the price, for the 10,000, we want to probably get a couple of these going straight away. And we will put in a water storage. So we're going to go to containers, and you got the water tank there for 3,000. So it gives you an instant water source close by to where your productions are. It is the same water tank as this one here. So this is actually already on our land and we already own it. So we could have greenhouses here already, but I want to utilize this area for crops, not so much greenhouses. Alright, looks like this worker is done. If he's hiding in the bushes. Yes, he is. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you got a lot of tips out of that. Any questions or comments, let me know, and let me know below. Otherwise, I will see you in the next one, and bye for now.